All right, it is time for our featured speaker, and we are talking all about taking messy action. And y'all, we have someone who is, when I say a new partner, we have a new partner on who is a two-star diamond. She's currently a team leader on the road to elite for 2025, and she has earned Success Club for all 10 months that she has been a partner. And so she's not quite a Success Club All Star yet because she has not been enrolled as a partner for 12 months. Yes, you heard that. She's a two-star diamond who is a partner for who has been a partner for 10 months. Her name is Whitney Ferguson from Toronto, Canada, and I'm so excited for you to hear more about her story, about what she's doing, about her incredible team and the impact that they're making. Please help me welcome the founder of Team Believe in Your Best to this episode of the Wake Up Call, Whitney Ferguson, y'all.
Hi, how are you?
I'm so excited. It's still blowing my mind that we're talking to you 10 months after you said yes to this partnering opportunity. You're already two-star. And so I'm excited for the network to hear from you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. And I'm telling you, it blows my mind also. Even just being here today, I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm so excited to talk with you today.
All right, so let's take it back really quick before we go forward. Tell us a little bit about how you got partnered with Body.
My Body story started in a really dark period of my life. I'm a mom of 3 girls. I had just had my 3rd baby, and we moved 2 hours away from my friends and my family into this country home where we had no neighbors. And my husband worked really long hours, as in he was up and gone before anybody in the house woke up, and he came home maybe 30 minutes before the kids went to bed. And so it was all mom, all the time. I have this new baby who needs me all of the time, and 2 little girls who are not used to sharing their mom. And it was just very overwhelming. And as much as I love being a mom, I found myself over time really losing myself in the process. I had lost my spark. I was overstimulated. I was not fulfilled. No one was taking care of me. It was me taking care of everybody else. And so I found myself getting into this habit of just staying up way too late every single night just to get a little bit of alone time.
Yeah.
My self-care took a huge dive. My self-care looked like a bottle of wine and Netflix with a lap full of snacks every single night, sitting on the couch by myself, just to have that unwind, that moment to breathe for myself. This led to more low energy, more feelings of defeat. It just spiraled into, as much as I was doing it for myself, I needed that time. It led to all of these bad habits, bad feelings. I wasn't showing up as the woman and the mom and the person I was born to be. I ended up gaining 40 pounds, which was, quickly. That's what happens when you drink a bottle of wine with Netflix and a lap full of snacks every night, right?
Yep.
Caused a lot of insecurities. My marriage was already struggling, and this made it worse. I lost my energy. I lost my spark. And I remember a key moment watching my kids. My kids were playing on the floor, and they asked me to come play with them. And I literally didn't have it in me to get up and go do the thing and be the mom that they deserved.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So I actually I told my kids a lie. I was like, oh, mom's doing a grocery order on her phone, or I made up something. And I remember in that moment breaking my own heart, because it wasn't that I didn't want to play with them. It's that I didn't have the bandwidth. I didn't have the emotional, I had nothing left to give. It was just me sitting there. I couldn't even look at them after that. I remember looking out the window and thinking to myself, like, you're just watching your life pass you by. You are watching their childhoods pass you by, your motherhood is passing you by, and I was just like hopeless and helpless to do anything about it. So shortly after that, another night, my glass of wine and my lap full of snacks, Netflix on, doom scrolling on my phone, I saw this girl on social media. She was also a mom of girls, but she was like doing something with her life and doing something with her motherhood. She was making memories and going out for dinner and scootering down the road and taking care of herself. And she had this like light, like it was like a genuine, authentic light about her. And I was like, whoa, this is what I have been needing. Like, this is what I have been missing.
Yeah.
And so I messaged her. I saw it said like new group starting soon, like click here to join me or something. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm doing it. So I click, I fill out her form. I know I'm like an enigma. Like I reached out to her, right? And the next morning I got this message from her and we're chatting and I'm like, okay, here we go. This is great. And it was about the time we got to cost. I stopped responding to her.
Wow.
Yeah, I reached out to her. I knew I needed this light. I knew I needed this solution. And I think it's really important to remember and remind ourselves that even when people really want this, and even when they know they really need this, there's still objections there. I was afraid to invest because I didn't believe I was going to see it through. I didn't believe I was worthy of it. I didn't believe I was going to make anything of it. So I'm like, I am not paying for this because I'm probably going to fail at it. And I had these 21-day fixed DVDs from like 2015. And I'm like, okay, at this point I've made the connection. This is the same thing. I'm like, all right, I've got these DVDs from back in the day. I'm going to do this myself. I'm starting on Monday. I'm going to make this happen. And Monday came and went. And I didn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, Tuesday. Tuesday comes and goes, and I still didn't show up for myself. And I was like, well, maybe I haven't given myself enough mental time to prepare, or whatever story I was making up and telling myself. I'm like, I'm starting next week. And next week was the same thing. I was drowning in my life. I could not get up and make this happen for myself. I did this on a loop for 6 months. Straight. I tried and I failed. And sometimes I did a workout, but I never made it past week 1. Sometimes I didn't even try because I could not handle another failure on my plate. And for 6 months, this woman followed up with me. She popped into my inbox every now and again. Hey, I've got this new thing going on. Hey, I haven't forgotten about you. How are you? Like, how are things going? Are you ready? And I read every single one of her messages after I had initiated the conversation with her, and I never responded because I didn't want to tell anybody about how badly I was struggling. I didn't want to say, I feel like an awful mom. I feel like I'm failing. I don't have the energy to play with my kids. How are you going to expect me to get up and do a workout? I'm failing at this by myself. Of course, I can't pay for this thing because I'm obviously not capable of doing it, right? I didn't want to tell her that. So I just didn't answer her. And some days I was too busy juggling all of the kids and all of the things. And some days I was just ashamed of where I was in life. But I continued to watch her stories. And I think it's so funny because how many of us have had that happen where we're in a good conversation with somebody and they stop responding, but then we see them like liking our posts and commenting on our posts and watching our stories, and we're like, what is the connection, right? The thing is it's not about us. So for 6 months, she followed up. And for 6 months, my situation deteriorated. And one day I opened her message, and in a moment of desperation, I was just like, things can't get any worse. How do I join you? Like, just tell me what to do. I'm in, okay? I'm in. Every single time she followed up with me, she built trust. She reminded me that I didn't have to believe in myself because I didn't have to do it by myself. She was there to support me. She was not going to let my goals slip through the cracks. So I joined this group. I'm like, what is this? I'm scrolling and I'm looking at all of these women, and there's people like, that was hard. Oh my gosh, I almost died, but I didn't. And now I feel amazing. And showing up in the struggle and supporting each other, and showing up when they're succeeding and supporting each other. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm in a room of doers. So I'm like, I better get up and do something, right? So I did a workout. I took my picture and I posted it in the group. And I think I said something like, day one, I don't know where this is going, but at least I started. And this community rallied for me. And as a mom who had been home alone, struggling silently, I didn't have a lot of recognition in my life. And so this felt really good. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So the next day I did another workout, and then the next day, and before I knew it, I had finished my 21 day fix in the first shot. And I was feeling great. I was feeling energized. I was getting the results that I needed. And I remember my husband one night was like, do you want a glass of wine? And I was like, no, thank you. And I shocked myself. I was like, oh my gosh, I actually don't need a glass of wine to numb out tonight. Like, I don't need to self-soothe. And I didn't have a glass of wine yesterday either. I was like, oh my goodness, this is really rippling. It was like more than I'd ever expected. So when I actually first signed up, this woman had said to me, you know, there is an opportunity to make money with your fitness journey if you'd like to hear more about it. And I laughed out loud. I was like, I could never lead. I have been trying and failing at this for 6 months straight. Like, nobody wants me to lead this show. This is good. This is not okay. I'm not qualified, right? And for 6 more months, as I pushed forward and as I leaned into this community and I built consistency and I lost 40 pounds, she continued to invite me to the business. And I ended up thinking, I mean, what if I could? Like, what if I could have an impact on another mom who is silently struggling like I was? Because on the outside looking in, everything looked great, but I was not okay. What if I could help somebody else? And what if I could create more income for my family? And what if I could create more quality time? So I signed up. I'm like, tell me what to do. I guess I'm in. I trust you. You believe in me. So I'm going to go for it. And what I realized really quickly is that it doesn't have to be perfect to be super powerful. And messy action trumps trying to aim for perfection every single time. Because when we shoot for perfection and we try to figure everything out first, we end up doing nothing. We end up getting stuck in analysis paralysis, and we're so stuck in this anxiety of, oh my gosh, it has to look perfect, that we end up doing nothing. And that messy action means that we're creating forward momentum. We're getting the ball moving. The snowball is growing. Things are happening. We're changing lives. And I feel like every check mark on our back, focused, doing invites and follow-ups and all of the things, if we're focused and we're not getting lost in the scroll or distracted with DMs and all of the threads that we're in and all of the things, when we're focused, every check mark on our back adds to our future life. It's helping develop a future for our future selves, for our kids, for our families, for our energy, all of the things. So I teach my team, invites first, and then you have to do the follow-ups. And I feel like people skip the follow-ups, or they get into that analysis paralysis because they're like, I don't want to bother them. They must have changed their mind. They haven't responded to me. I'm probably being so annoying. Maybe they're judging me. But if my upline hadn't have followed up with me, it's really scary for me to think of the woman that I would be today. And it is really scary of me to think that of the mom that my kids would have today. Her following up with me saved my life. It gave me belief. It let me know someone out there cared. And so if someone's interested, if I send an invite and someone is interested at some point, they've put their goals in my hands. And it's our job and our duty to make sure that their goals don't fall through the cracks. What an honor that is to get to be that person for somebody else, you know? So we need to remove the attachment of the no response, the not right now, I'm not interested, or even, you know, that person that you thought they were going to sign up this week, they were joining you, they were in, you were excited, and then they disappear, and all of a sudden they're ghosting you, and you're like, what the heck happened? It's not right now, comma, I hate you. They have life things happening. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. It is not about us. People are busy. People have life happening. People have doubt, especially when around health and fitness. There is doubt there because how many people have started and failed in the past? It takes time to build that trust, and we need to keep showing up for them until we do.
Wow. Whitney, there's so many angles that we can go from with your story. First of all, thank you so much for sharing. I was reading some of the comments and you were telling a lot of people's story. And so I just appreciate your vulnerability and taking us to that pivotal moment in your life when you knew enough was enough and it was time, that you deserved more and that your family deserved more. And a couple things I just wanted to highlight is that there was the consistency from your upline and with her inviting and having something to invite to. That's a key. If you don't have something to invite to, y'all, if you aren't inviting, if you aren't being consistent with it, you don't set yourself up for this unicorn opportunity for someone to reach out to you. So at least put yourself in the highest success potential to have something like a Whitney reaching out, someone like a Whitney reaching out to you. And then also, I think it was the remembering that even when people want this, they may still ghost you. It's not about you. And I think that we hear the terminology, remove yourself from the end result and continue to focus on the impact, and you do what you have to do, and then you continue, but you don't make it about you. You make it about them, but you don't put your quality as a person, as a leader, as a body partner in someone else's decision. And even with you reaching out and wanting this, needing this, knowing that this was a must, you still ghosted. And then also you recognizing that it's the community part that you were missing, that community that was holding you accountable, and then finally following up, and how follow-ups can be life changing, and how it was life changing, how it has been life changing for you. And so now here we are, we're 10 months into this since you said yes. You said yes about 6 months in to starting your working out with your community, with your fitness group, and you've already hit 2-star diamond. You've already achieved some incredible business feats. And so let's talk a little bit more about what you attribute your business success to.
Absolutely. So I came into this business with a very unique perspective on following up and how important it is, and how it's not about us at all, because people have life things happening. And so this is what I teach my team. First, it starts with the invite, okay? So everybody who is watching my story, liking my post, commenting, they are all getting an invite from me. I'm not waiting 3 months to connect with them and build a connection. If they are cheering me on, supporting, interested, watching, they've earned that invite immediately. They know what we're doing. They see us doing it. They're supporting it. They're cheering us on. And on some level, even if they're not there yet, they are intrigued and they're interested. So they earn the invite. My first invite is very, very simple. I'm going to share it with you. I wrote it down so I don't mess it up. but it just says, thanks so much for watching. This has been such an incredible journey, and every like, view, and comment is such a support. I really mean that. I also wanted to invite you to my boot camp kicking off next week. Have you ever tried in-home workouts? No pressure at all, just thought I'd ask. Thanks again so much. Nobody's getting mad at me for sending that message. It is to the point, it is sweet. I'm telling them it starts next week. You know what I mean? I'm thanking them and just saying no pressure, but I just thought I'd ask, right? Anybody who's interested in more information immediately goes on my follow-up list. Like, no hesitation, they're on my follow-up list. And I think this is where we overthink, because we hear over and over again, the fortune's in the follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. And we're like, okay, but how often do we follow up? And how much is too much? And when? And when am I connecting in between? And like, what am I doing, right? And so I want to share with you the follow-up system that I actually think is the reason I've seen so much success in my business, because I've taken the guesswork and the overthinking out of it. I've just removed it from the equation and come up with a system. I invite somebody, they want information, immediately they go in my follow-up list. Let's be honest, we invite somebody, it's very rare that they sign up that same day, so the conversation stops at some point. And if I don't hear from them in 2 days, I'm checking in on them again. And again, it's very simple, conversational. Hey, just checking in because I didn't hear back. I know how busy life can get. Not forgetting about you, especially while I have this insane discount in a new group starting next week. Are you in? I have a deadline, have a bonus. Quick, simple little check-in. If I don't hear back again, 2 days later again, I'm following up. And this is what I'm saying. I'm finalizing these enrollments. We start Monday. Let's get you set up so you can start feeling great, right? Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Okay, from there, are you listening? This is key. This is the part that works really, really well and takes the guesswork out of it. From there, I follow up a week later. And every follow-up after that, I just tack on an extra week. So I do 2 days, and then 2 days, and then 1 week, and then 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks, and so on and so forth. And so it's really easy to put people in my calendar, not let them fall through the cracks, not be constantly in their inbox overwhelming them, but still showing them, I see you, I care for you, I'm holding your goals in my hands, and I'm not letting them fall through the cracks. Now, so I'm tacking on a week after each follow-up. This just helps my brain not be like, have I followed up with them too much? What am I doing? You know what I mean? And so by the time I get to week 8, there's been a lot of messages in between. We've probably chatted back and forth, but if I haven't heard from them, on week 8, I'm like, hey, I know I've messaged you a bunch about reaching your goals together. I know you really wanted to have more energy for your kids, lose 30 pounds, gain strength, whatever, like fill in the blank. Wondering if your goals have already been taken care of, or if you'd like me to take you off my follow-up list. No hard feelings, just wanted to check in on you and touch base. And at this point, people are usually like, oh my gosh, do not take me off your follow-up list. Life has been crazy, things have been so busy. Sign me up today, or I'm checking on me next month, okay? I'm either getting that, or I'm again not hearing from them. Here's the thing. I'm never taking anybody off of my follow-up list. Ever, ever, ever. They're never coming off because they put their goals in my hands. I can't forget about them. It's my job and my duty to make sure that people put themselves on the back burner all the time because life gets busy. We have this opportunity to show up for people and say, remember that time that you said you wanted this? I have the solution for you. So instead of taking them off my follow-up list, I push them out 6 months. It gives them time to create more breathing room in their life if they need it. It gives them time to watch me show up consistently, to see me helping my clients, to see me helping my team, and to build that trust and build that relationship in between so that they realize this is someone I can trust and she's still going and these people are seeing results and oh my gosh, I still really do need this, okay? So when I see their name come up 6 months later, I'm like, oh my gosh, Sarah, this is amazing. So I reach out and I just tell her what I'm doing. hey, I've been planning this new boot camp and it made me think of you. It's just 20-minute workouts. The results have been insane. Everyone's energy is up and we are cheering for each other hard this summer. Any chance you want in on this? It's simple and it works because it reminds people that there's someone out there who cares about them. There's someone out there who hasn't forgotten about them. And if we're being honest, there are so many people out there who don't have anybody checking in on them. And so what a gift it is that we get to be that for somebody else.
That's good.
You know? So another integral part that I want to touch on just really quickly is connections in between the follow-ups. I think it is very, very important. We need to show people that we care. We need to remind people that they're not just a number, okay? And so, like me, I'm getting the follow-ups, I'm reading the messages, I'm not responding because life is crazy and really heavy, but I'm still watching stories, I'm still liking posts, I'm still getting involved in this person's social media. So for me, when I look through my story viewers, for example, and I'm looking for new people to invite who I haven't invited yet, I do that and I go back through once more and I look for someone who maybe I invited last week and I haven't heard back from, or maybe I've recently followed up with them and I haven't heard back from them. And I take that opportunity to go be their friend, to build a human connection, to remind them like, I'm a human being, I'm a mom, I am imperfect, but like, hey, I see you, right? So if they have a story up, I am going in and sending them a message, not just a heart that flutters up when they open their inbox, but like an actual message, like looking for an opportunity to give a compliment or make their day or ask them a question or just connect on some level. If they don't have a story up, I'm taking a quick second and just scanning their page, okay? And I'm like, what are they up to lately? And maybe they just went on a beach vacation with their family. And so I'm going to like that post, and then I pop into their inbox and I say, oh my gosh, I just saw that beach trip you guys just took. It looked so much fun. Your kids are getting so big. How long were you there for? Or something along those lines, like building that connection, okay? I take the opportunity to be their friend because we're not body robots. We're all real people behind the screen, and they need to see that and build that trust and feel that connection. Now, some people are easier to connect with than others because some people have a stronger social media presence. So maybe they don't have any personal updates, but maybe they shared a meme or something, right? And so again, I'm gonna like that post and pop into their inbox and say, oh my gosh, that meme you sent was hilarious. Clearly we have the same sense of humor. And that's it, like that's all it takes. Now they know me a little bit better. We have the same sense of humor. They feel seen and validated as a human being. That's it, like there's a connection between us now. And I think we overthink and we tell ourselves these stories about what people may or may not be thinking of us. But people need us to show up for them. And they also need us to make that human connection, right? Someone once said it's like spokes on a wheel. So you have the invite. You need the invite to get it all started, to plant the seed, invite them to your party. We need the follow-up to build trust and build belief in people. We need the connection to build that friendship, right? To make them feel seen and heard. We need to always be inviting people to our network so that we don't run out of people to invite. And we need the social media, which keeps the whole thing going. If you remove a spoke on that wheel, if you're not doing the follow-ups, don't be mad, I'm gonna say it. 90% of the effort you put into inviting doesn't matter because you haven't built the trust. You haven't helped them build the belief. If you were not doing the connections, same thing. You haven't built the trust. You haven't built the belief. And so we need all the spokes on the wheel to create the momentum, that forward motion, to build that traction. And then all of a sudden things are moving and I'm like, I'm a 2-star. Like, what just happened here? This is crazy. But I think it's really and truly, I chalk it up to the fact that I look at follow-ups as a way to show up for my people instead of thinking to myself, oh my gosh, they might be judging me. Because I know personally what can be going on behind the scenes and how hard it can be to reach out and say, I'm really struggling and I really need help with this. So I will always show up for everybody who ever puts their goals in my hands.
Wow, Whitney, thank you so much for giving us the play-by-play way that we can follow up with people. Like you said, we hear the fortunes and the follow-up, but what does that actually mean? What does that look like? And you gave us the exact layout for what that looks like. And so, partners, if you're listening, the objective is not to take word for word what Whitney said, but it's to internalize the process that she's created, the system that she's created, and create your own words, right? To be inspired by the script, but not to use it verbatim, because then that takes away that trust that is so important. It's one of the most important parts because it doesn't sound like you. So I just want to make sure I share that. Whitney, you have done a phenomenal job today, giving us framework. And the final question that we have, and you mentioned at the beginning the pivotal moment of the doom scrolling and saying yes, and now here we are 10 months later, you're doing something not only incredible for your energy and for your ability to be able to impact your family in the way that you wish to impact your family, but now you have this additional stream of income that you are utilizing to also impact your family. So my final question for you is, how has your health esteem been impacted since partnering with Body?
That is such a I could give you so many different answers. Oh my gosh. But I think the biggest one is, gosh, not to sound dramatic, but like, I just don't feel like I'm settling for my life anymore. I have created so much breathing room within myself just by taking care of myself, and so much purpose in my life by helping other people do the same. And my journey isn't perfect. Like, some days I'm like on fire and I'm so motivated and I'm on, and other days I'm not, and I have to work really, really hard to show up. But I'm showing up every single day anyway. Every day I keep going. And I think that's such an important part, is that realizing it doesn't have to be perfect to have a powerful impact. And my daughters get to see that too now. And I mean, now they have the mom that they deserve, when for a while there, they really didn't. And so I think that's really been the most pivotal thing for me.
I love that, Whitney. Thank you so much for sharing today. Partners, thank you so much for showing up for yourself. We'll get this added to our playback section here in the next couple hours. And Whitney, we appreciate you so much for the time and detail that you put into, and just for showing us what's possible. I love hearing your story, and I think that in addition to the fortune being in the follow-up and the follow-up system, your story today, it gives a lot of people hope in what's possible for them and what's possible for the people that they're impacting. So thank you, Whitney. Thank you, partners. We will see you all same time, same place next week. Until then,